you with the box. What was in the box? What's in the box?
Welcome to Bob's Basement Toy Blog. We're on episode 10. I was going to call it the Big 10, but then I already made it a graphic for 10, and I didn't think Big 10. So in case you hadn't noticed, you can go back and look at all of these on our Facebook page. They're all on our YouTube page as well. They're collected, so you can just watch right through them. But I'm trying to do a clever title for each one. I've already got 11 in my head. I just came up with it now, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. As I promised, special 10th episode. This vehicle has nothing to do with that. It's what's inside the tub. I have it turned around because on this side, I wrote, I guess in crayon or something, years ago, not to put anything on top of this box that was heavy. I don't know if you can read that. It's a pretty big box, but it does say Death Star. So this is the Kenner Death Star playset from, I guess, like 1978, probably 79. Big story going with this, but let's get to this little ship real quick. This is a 1999 Naboo speeder. Now, this is a 4-seater. It did have a cannon on top, but and wheels on the bottom, but I got this at a yard sale for like 50 cents. But again, as I've been talking about, a lot of things that we've been doing here in the blog, or things that I've shown you, is that I buy things like this for world building. So I can repaint this if I want. I could complete it if I want. I think some of these panels pick up too. Yep, there's some sort of thing there that opens up. But God knows, it's probably been decades since it's opened. Wow, what is that? How did that open? Oh, it slides out? There it goes. Oh yeah, it's got battle damage. Didn't even know that. Battle damage. Look at that. So, it's world building stuff. You want to have, I like to have official things in my world building playsets when that happens, and I really hope it's going to happen within the next 5 years. Something that my son and I can do. And my wife already has blueprints drawn up, maps, all those kind of things. But little things like this, you pick up for pennies, can really help. Like this could be in the background. This could be a featured piece. It's just one of those things that you need when you're doing toy construction. There's something else back here. I have no idea what this... Oh, it's a platform for guys to ride on. This is the most I think I've actually played with this thing. This little thing back here for guys to sit on. This is what toy collectors do and don't do with their stuff. So put this to the side. Now, big green tub. Here we go. So a lot of interesting things. A lot of things that are bagged. Something, and I have not touched this tub in a very long time. When I moved out of my condo in 2010, I took the Death Star. It was fully constructed, and I moved it. And one little piece had broken because it had fallen. Something had fallen onto it and broken it. So I really hope that it's okay in here. But I'm going to slide some stuff out. Let's see what we got. This is a Starship centerpiece from 1977 for like a birthday party. I guess my mom got these at one point. It also looks like something my grandmother would have bought and collected just randomly in that box. All right. What's up, Dave? Thanks for tuning in. Oh, so here's our first double, if you will. This is Jodo Cast, and we had talked about Jodo Cast earlier in, I think, maybe the first or second box. This was a Kmart exclusive. This is from 2010. When there was still a Kmart near me. I can even think of the one that I got it at, and it's long since gone. The neat thing about Jodo Cast was he was a guy who was pretending to be Boba Fett. It was all in the comic books, the original Marvel comics from the 70s and 80s, late 70s, early 80s. So an interesting twist. Twin Engines of Destruction is the name of the comic. My wife had one of these. I think that was hers that we saw. So now we have this one. This one's in slightly better shape. I should probably put it in a plastic card. So let's put Jodo Cast out so he does not end up back somewhere else. Now, I did see another carded figure in here. So this is Donald Duck as a stormtrooper. This was from Star Tours. I was down for the last tour to Endor during Star Wars Celebration Orlando. This was years ago, 2009-ish. So I do have Mickey from this collection, but it's really cool to actually have Donald. So this is what Star Wars fans do. They'll, branch out from time to time. It's neat that it's carded. I'm going to stick that out. So we have that on my backdrop. So, all right. That looks like a part. That looks like this does not feel like a part. This is a part. Okay. So there is one or two other little things, floating in here, but I think we're gonna have to get to those as we go. So this is the first part to the Death Star. Now, everything in this Death Star is original. This is original pieces. Now, these are the cardboard inserts that go on the different levels. So these are original. Now, this one's upside down. So if you're a big fan, or these have fallen, these are very faded. If these have gone the way of the dodo, which is an old expression, this one's a little torn, but you can see they're a little faded on the back. There are people online that will print new ones of these for you. So if you want to keep your originals tucked away, or they're just too faded or too gone, you can definitely get new pieces. Oh, wow, there are 3 Mighty Mug boxes in here, so that ought to be interesting. So let's see if I slide this over here so I can start putting things down. Especially, I'm going to build it as we go, so you can actually see what the Death Star is. You have no idea, and you just don't want to bother to Google it. Now, this is a most common piece that you'll find on eBay. For some reason, this thing survived. An Urban Outfitters receipt is in the bag from August 2010. So that's about right. That's about when I started packing stuff up. A movie ticket is in here to The Score. That's that De Niro and Edward Norton movie. But this is the trash compactor. So this is a very interesting and fun toy that Kenner put into the playset. And basically, it's you can move you can you can compact it, squeeze Chewie and Leia and Luke in there. It has a screw, and the neat thing is, and I'm not sure if this is actually a piece for it or just a piece of tape. It's actually a sticker panel from the Death Star, so we got to hold on to that. There's 2 little foamy pieces left. This is just peanut foam that was diced up and then put in here, and then you can escape outside the Death Star. Outside the trash compactor, that is. It's not quite snapping in, but it's not broke. It's just not syncing up properly. It kind of screws on. It looks like it may be a little cracked. But this is one of the most common pieces that you will find on eBay, is this piece right here. For some reason, that survived better than most other things. So these are 2, I believe, base pieces, wall pieces, for the Death Star. They will go like this, I believe, down to the bottom. Okay? They'll be on, I believe, on either side of the trash compactor, and you really can't see it. It's right out of frame. So I'm not really building anything yet. Wow. Okay, so Walt Disney bag. At least 2 pieces in here. Okay, so this is the top. And I did have this on display, so I really wish I could use the wipes because it's very dusty. This is the top of the Death Star. And then this is, it really needs to be dusted. This is the drawbridge piece. Goes in the middle. So this will go like this. Okay, so this is the top. This is not the top tier. This is the middle tier as we go here. All right. This is the cannon. Now, I did have a Death Star when I was a child, and I'll get to that story as I'm building it. So there may be some extra pieces in here that go to that playset. I'll know when I see it because they're broken. So, nope, this one's in good shape. So this is the one that came with this Death Star. So this is the Death Star cannon that sits at the top. I think a hairdryer is going to be in order to straighten that out. It straightened out pretty good. Fantastic piece. This is another piece that you easily find on eBay because for some reason this survived. The Death Star itself, as you will see, it's kind of wobbly. Oh wow. Okay. So here are, now I'm not going to take these out. Here are the foam. Here's the foam that goes into the trash compactor. But these two pieces here, this is interesting for me. That's where that one sticker panel is from. These are the little control pieces, the little deck pieces for the bad guys to like press buttons and stuff. These are to my original Death Star. And you'll understand why they're broken off the panel when I get into the story. But those have a lot of meaning for me. I got to keep those. And then this is another guy you find on eBay pretty regularly. This is the trash compactor monster, which I always thought looked like Jaws a little bit because of the mouth. This is a Denayagon, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I used to say Denayagon, but it's a Denayagon. And you'll see these in Shadows of the Empire, the video game. There's like 4 or 5 of them, and you have to fight them. But this is the only action figure you actually get with the Death Star. And then here's Foam Peanuts. And then there's a little breakaway droid in here with a magnet in his chest. There's a battle droid in here. I think I put that in there as a joke. So that would be inside the trash, like that. That's neat that I actually have some of the foam that goes with it. Put that in there. But same deal as I talked about earlier with Dagobah. The foam in the quicksand was very similar to this, and this stuff is just going to rot over time. I had a foam latex mask once in a DVD set of Halloween, and in 3 years, the face was already starting, never took it out of the box, was already starting to just eat away naturally. Right, we don't really need these to build it. Okay, so this is one of the bigger pieces to the Death Star here. So this is, I can't believe the stickers are still on this bad boy. I mean, this thing's been in storage, it had been in a controlled climate storage, and then later it moved into a regular storage bin. So the stickers being on here is great, but this is the elevator panel, and I don't want this to fall and break. God knows I don't want it to break. But for some reason, I put both elevators in there. And as I said earlier, and I can lock this off. Move this to level 2. What was that? Oh, okay. Good, it didn't break. All right, so as I said, I had a Death Star when I was a child. And I have the original control panels right here that go on the one deck. And I still had my original elevator, and it still has the key that you can use to lock it onto certain levels. Because I'm crazy, and you keep things like this. I mean, there was no reason. I mean, it's still a cool piece. The doors turn and all this. In my craziness, when I got the Death Star again, I put my old elevator back into the Death Star so that I would have 2 elevators inside the tower. And I don't think I put it in right because it's not allowing me to turn it. So let's see if I can put it in the other way. Oh, I guess there is really only one way to put it in. Is there? So you pop this in. And then you can lock it into place on the level that you need it to rest on. It's almost as if it's fighting it, like it knows that it's not supposed to have 2 in there. But very dusty. Now the original one, yeah, it's really not supposed to because it's supposed to rest. So I'm going to take it out. So these are the original pieces to my old school Death Star. And somewhere I know I have another cannon. But here it sits. And then this goes, see it's in there, and it locks into place. I'll turn that around. But look at all the, I don't know if you can really see it, all the detail here inside the plastic. We have all the panels here. I've seen them painted, where they paint all the white lines into this, and they paint the cannon. So this is going to be the tower that everything is attached to. Okay. So Now, this is the top piece. This is what the cannon will attach to. Still does the noise, which is fantastic. God, I really want to clean this and make it look nice. Now, I've seen some people who have actually cleaned their Star Wars toys when all the stickers are gone. And they wash it in the dishwasher with a certain kind of soap. So that is something you can do, but it's better to have the stickers bought ahead of time so you can put the stickers back in, or do new or buy new stickers, get new pieces of cardboard to fill in those spots. Here is the first, you could say the first level, the ground level. This is the first level. So these are these pieces that I was talking about here, and I kept these. All right, so we'll get to the story here in a second. There's one or two little things. Oh, and this is the trap door that they're supposed to be hiding in, or they get out of the trash compactor, or they jump into. It all depends on your preference, on how you play with this toy when you were a kid. Now, we've got a bag of pieces here. These are struts that will help us hold this together. And then, oh, very interesting, we've hit another double. We hit another double. I didn't even know that I had two of these. So, still glued together. This is the original Wampa, and on the back it was Biggs Darth Lighter, Bosk, Qui-Gon Jinn, Wicket, and a Gamorrean Guard. So we actually have an extra one of these. Honey, if you're watching, I did not remember that we had two of these, so I don't know where this other one came from. And I know she's watching. I can see that she jumped on. So we'll set him here to the side. That's awesome. So here's another Five Below purchase of Snake Eyes. There was Cobra Commander, who we saw earlier, Duke, Storm Shadow, and Snake Eyes. So this is a cool Mighty Mug. Again, never been opened. Love the packaging on these. I think this is one of those toys that's just going to go up in value because of how, like, retro cool it was. Like, pops are pops, but there's so much more to these, I think. So this is awesome that I actually found that again. And Grand Moff Tarkin, the Mighty Mug. Look at that. Awesome. And again, I think this one came at Five Below. Snake Eyes definitely did. But I'm saying that because there's a black mark here. And usually when companies do that, that means they don't want the inventory anymore. So these things would go to second tier retail stores. So that's it for the tub. Now you should be able to see a little bit better with the tub out of shot. So I'll hold it up as we get to it. So here's the story of the Death Star. So when I was a kid, I had a lot of Star Wars toys, and my cousins would come over, and my mom would babysit them. I had a brother. I had, my mom would watch everybody, but she would watch my cousins while my aunt would go to work. And it'd flip-flop. Every once in a while, my mom would have us go over to my aunt's place. So what happened was, the one day, I was at soccer practice. Was not at home. And I came home, and my cousins and my brother had every Star Wars toy that my brother and I had out in our playroom downstairs basically it was downstairs living room. And my dad came home, and he must have had a bad day, and he said, "What did I tell you about leaving your toys out?" And I said, I didn't, this wasn't me. I didn't have my toys out. I just got back from soccer practice. And he says he doesn't remember me saying that, but I remember having an orange and blue sweatshirt with the number 22 on it, and had my bag in my hand for soccer, and I had just gotten home. And he said, "I need to teach you a lesson," and he dropped his foot straight through the Death Star. This piece, I don't know what's happened to it since, but this piece was gone. Like, it was basically everything in the middle had smashed in one way or another. And my dad felt terrible about this afterwards. Now, it's since become a family joke. Who destroyed the Death Star, Pop, as my nephews have asked. And he would say, it was me. He would say things like that. So he would be like, it was me. And then the joke has gone on through my friends and things. So we've all had a Death Star joke at my expense. you know, here and there about what happened to my Death Star. So it's been kind of funny, but all right. Ugh. Don't know if this actually fits into this. It's been a while since I've done this, so please forgive me. I don't want to force anything, and you kind of think, should it be the black one? Nah, it's not the black one. So years later, eBay is introduced, and man, that's tight. Maybe it's not supposed to go that way. It's supposed to go this way. So there's another little peg in there, and you would think that these would go. I wonder if these go up higher. So you think the 3 white ones, maybe not. Let's go here. I'm trying to get this lined up here, but those are too big. Yes, it is the Kenner Death Star playset, Matthew. Thank you for watching. So years later, eBay comes into vogue, and after a while, you start to look at different things. You start to realize, like, oh, I can get this, or oh, I can get that, and the Death Star starts to show up on eBay. And my dad, I make a joke to my dad, and I was just about to graduate college. And I said, he asked me, he said, what would you like for, graduation gift and stuff? And I said, I really like the Death Star. And he kind of laughed at me, and he said, okay, you find one that's about $150, and I'll buy it for you. So it didn't take much, and I found one in the box with every piece except the rope, and found it, purchased it, sent my dad the order, and he said, okay. So I went and actually picked it up, and at a Toys R Us. I can't believe I can't get these pieces in. I just don't want to force it. It's just not going in. Okay, that goes there. He just smiled about it, and then gave me the money. I went and picked it up, gave me the money, and the guy at the thing was like, as soon as I got there, he's like, hey, you want a Ewok Village? It was like this bad, like car salesman trying to get me buy another toy off of him. It was really funny. So it was a lot of fun. But to this day, my dad has been very, very apologetic about it. It's a family joke. But thankfully, I had thrown myself in front of the Millennium Falcon, and that was okay. So, it was what it was at the time. The family's been funnier for it. So we've had just don't feel like that's right. And I don't want to force it. Maybe I'm just doing it backwards. See, that one's really loosey-goosey. That's why. There we go. I use that term a lot, I realized, when I put these things together. So now, here we have the first tier. I'm going to hold it up. Can't really attach the trash compactor. It just kind of slides in. So here we go. We are on, now the second tier, and this was a cool thing about this toy, how it really used the movie and all of its dimensions to be part of something and to give you that all kinds of different play feel. Like, if you can see this now we have the bridge that Luke and Leia swing across, and that's in the center. So you get this elevation and tiers, so that, when the Death Star was so expansive and you looked around and you were able to, feel like you were playing in the toy. Yes, and already, my friends are commenting on the Facebook page, the live, can I come over and smash it? So, no, Jim, you cannot come over and smash my Death Star. So, there is more to the story. We'll get to it once I complete it. But it is snapping into place very nicely. I may actually put this upstairs, since I moved into a house, and I could really use the tubs because I'm starting to run out of space as I'm organizing. I do have a couple of play sets now upstairs in my office. So, God knows that would give me a reason to open up more figures. Now, this piece here snaps into the elevator tower. Got that. I wish I still had my USS Flag, which my dad did buy me for Christmas one year, me and my brother, because I could put that together in an hour. And I wonder, when I was a kid, I wonder if I could still do it in an hour. This goes on top here. What's up, MJ? So this, now the gun turret, if I'll turn it here so you can see it. The gun turret here, see this blue knob right here? This is when you loaded it, you could hit this button at a certain angle and it would pop the gunner out, which had to be a stormtrooper. So think about this. You're Kenner. You made this playset. There are 2 essential figures that you did not release until years later with this playset. You could get stormtroopers, you could get Darth Vader, you could get Luke, Han, Leia, you could get a Death Star droid, which is basically like a silver 3PO with more like a bug head. But there were 2, you could get a Death Star commander. There it goes, snaps into place. Never really stood up too good, but I think that's just because of time. So, there you go. So you got this gun so you can shoot your ships out of space. Oh, there it goes. They never made the Imperial Gunner, which is, look, they made this. They made all of this and not the Imperial Gunner until Return of the Jedi, where they released a special figure of him with a coin. That was when you could first get the Imperial Gunner. And not until 2018 did they release a retro-style figure of Grand Moff Tarkin in the old school Kenner. So he would have been like, like this, just moves his arms, his head, his legs. They did release a Power of the Force Grand Moff Tarkin and Revenge of the Sith Grand Moff Tarkin, but you would have thought that they would have made him in all of those figures. They were making Ewoks like left and right. So here's the Emperor here to give you some scale. And I will try to do my best to hold this up. Now that he's going to go when I do this. Hold on. So the trash compactor goes underneath, and it just kind of slides in there. It's not sliding in there. Ah, that's because I put the base pieces on wrong. Oh, here we go. Now you can watch a grown man cry if I drop this. So these, the very first pieces I attached to the bottom, the base. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm already. Later, Dave. Okay, so I put these on backwards. Not as in backwards, I put them on the wrong side. So, that's that one. Oh, God. And then I put this one on here. It's so that there is a groove this way so the trash compactor can slide in and out. And there it goes. So this is how, it's almost done. This is how the majority of it looks. Trash compactor's there. Then you take these cards. Now these cards are always a pain in the butt. They're supposed to just slide in. I really am going to go through some online dealers and try to get new ones printed. I was just like extra ones, to tell you the truth. And I know you can get ones that are printed with different stuff on them, so it can look different if you have more than one Death Star. And at one point, my dad was nice enough to even say to me, if you could get more than one, get more than one. And at one point I bid on 9 of them, and they were in a circle. And it was like the real Death Star. It was so cool that somebody had done that. It went really high. It went for a lot of money. You were getting 9 of these play sets. So I'm going to hold this up again. Oop. I'm going to hold this up again so you guys can see it. I'll put the Emperor in here for scale. So this is the Death Star. Sans some figures. So you can see how the whole thing would look. I mean, talk about a really cool toy. So that's how it would look. And I'm going to try and put it out like this so you can see it a little bit better. I'll put the Emperor in there to give you scale. So there's the Emperor to give you scale. Now, I said I'd give you another story. So one of the other cool stories was, years later when I was courting my wife, who was just my girlfriend at the time, I had asked, she had a Star Wars collection that she had inherited from her brother. So I said, did you ever have the Death Star? And she said, yes. And then she got real somber and really like upset. And I was like, what happened? She goes, well, I was at a friend's house, and it was my dollhouse, as she called it, and she threw it off a roof. So here was another person that I had met, that I was courting, and she actually had her Death Star smashed. So my father doing that, this happening to her, it was this nice little bridge of time, and we had this thing, this connection. So the first birthday gift I ever gave her was I got a complete Death Star inside the box, and I got a Canadian version of it, so it actually has the French logos and stuff, and I can see it. It's right over there. So I didn't get out of the box because it's in its own box and it's in a plastic thing and it's all like taken care of. But this house has 2 Death Stars, which I think is hysterical and a lot of fun. So not a lot of things to talk about today. Didn't do much as in terms of unboxing, but as you can see, we did build a Death Star playset. We found some really cool stuff that was in the box. This puppy is together. I have got so many Stormtroopers that I just want to deck out. Let me check some questions here before I wrap it up. Matt, who's one of our top fans, asked me, do you have the Star Destroyer Bridge set too? Yes, Matt, I do. I was at, I did a trade-in for some Masters of the Universe figures that I had, some Matty Collector ones. I traded them in at Symbiote Collectibles, and I'll put down the Facebook page and everything right here. I dealt with Max. He's a great guy, and he traded me. He just let me go. I gave him, I think it was like 15 Matty Collector figures that I had, and he just said, just keep putting stuff on the counter, and I'll tell you when to stop, or when you think you're at the right amount. So I was like, all right. So he had a Star Destroyer in the box with all the stickers, except the stickers had fallen off. So one of the things that my wife and I are doing in quarantine, or self-quarantining as we're doing, is I bought stickers from a guy in Australia to put new stickers on this awesome Star Destroyer, because it's almost complete. It's missing the front gun. I can't find the stickers. I don't know what I did with them. I really hope I didn't throw them out, but I only paid $5 for them. So, and I had them set aside because I needed an X-Acto knife. So then I found an X-Acto knife, and I don't know where the stickers went. So I got, Max traded me the Matty Collectors. I got a to scale TIE Fighter Vintage Collection, the Imperial Star Destroyer, an Ewok Village, which is almost complete. It's missing like 3 little pieces, and a bunch of other like figures and this and that, some stuff. But Max was it was really cool of Max to trade me that stuff, because he had posted it, and I was like, oh, I need those now. And he's like, I'll hold them for you until you get here. So we've got to endorse, very dry, not sick, very dry, because I'm doing a lot of talking. We got to really help out the small independent toy collectors. We've got to help the toy dealers. We've got to help them out. So 2 other big ones that we here at Total Toy Recon love is Luke and Cade's in New Jersey, and Farpoint Toys, which is in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. There are 3 Symbiote Collectibles, Luke and Cade's, and Farpoint Toys. They're 3 awesome toy dealers that we deal with on a regular basis. They give us good deals. They give us heads up. They've got great shipping. We always get stuff in such fantastic boxes from Luke and Cade's. And Farpoint was nice enough for us to allow us to come into their store and just watch us go nuts and film stuff left and right. So we got to help those guys out right now. That's how we still have things like this. That we still have, we can go and get more pieces, and we can go and finish things, and we can have great stories to pass on to people. So, again, my name is Bob from Total Toy Recon. Thank you for tuning in. Jim, I'm sorry that you were poor and you're only had the trash compactor with no foam or monster. My foam monster was around for years, and I'm sure that somewhere he is in one of these boxes, probably one of the older boxes. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in, and please be safe out there. Keep the social distancing going. We got to flatten the curve. I really hate saying all that crap, but it's really what we need right now. So thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.